going on, people? What's happening? Ahlan wa sahlan, kaif halak? How's everybody doing on this wonderful Thursday evening? But be sure to hit the like button, guys. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new here. Shout out to every single one of you lot that stayed awake in the UK to watch Man United actually perform very well against Bournemouth. 4:30ish the game finished. Big respect to you lot. I respect it so much. I watched the game back 90 minutes back. Thank God it was on Sky. And I was impressed. I'm not gonna lie, I was impressed, but of course I'm gonna keep my reservations for at least, I'm gonna keep my opinions for at least the first 5 to 10 games. But also, that can I just say, there's nothing wrong with talking about the positives that we've seen in the game. We don't have to hype up the situation, but I'm telling you lot, I have a very good feeling about one game a week. I think we're gonna see the best form of Manchester United that we've seen in the last 3 or so seasons, because we're gonna have one game a week. Be sure to hit the like button, guys. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new here. Let me know your thoughts down below about what you lot thought about the game. Who stood out for you? Patrick Dorgu had a good performance, for sure. I think everyone actually had a good performance. I'm liking the little passes, the 3 versus 2s. I'm liking the 4-4-2 kind of mix up to the 3-4-2-1 ish. Amarin Ball is here, guys. Amarin Ball is here, and if Man United get Benjamin Sesko, that front three is going to be looking very, very fluid. We got a lot to talk about, so make sure you hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. 5 a.m. for me in South Africa. I don't know how those fans in America do it. I'm not going to lie. If the game was at 5 a.m. for me, I could have watched. It would have been easier, because it's easier to wake up at 5 a.m. than it is to wake up at 2 a.m., if that makes sense. So I think if it was at 5 a.m., it would have been all right. The good thing is that the game against Everton on Sunday will be at 10 p.m. UK time. So I think that'll be midnight in South Africa. And I think that's like local afternoon time in America for the people that are going to it. But I think there's been some positives to draw. 100% there's been some positives to draw from preseason so far. But like I say, preseason for me is always about match fitness. Preseason for me is always about seeing elements of football. I think is more so reflective of the manager, but also is giving the younger players as well an opportunity to kind of stretch their legs, get some opportunity, get some playing time under their belt. And people like Luke Shaw, Mason Mount, them guys that have struggled with injury, have struggled with fitness, it allows them to get match fit. But we have so much to talk about when it comes to transfers, because last week I said maybe Man United get one more player in, but it looks like Man United could potentially get more than one more player in before the end of the transfer window. Obviously, the transfer window ends on the first day of September. We got just over a month to go for that. And then on top of that, obviously, the season starts in 2 weekends. Yeah, there's 2 weekends left before the season starts, and we kick off against Arsenal. Now, I know a lot of you probably watched Arsenal versus Spurs today, and you're going to make jokes about Arsenal, but let's worry about what's on our side, innit? Let's worry about Man United. We don't need to worry. I don't know. I know it's football rivalry and football banter, but we have a club to focus on that we're trying to dig out from the dirt, if you guys know what I mean. But listen, guys, be sure to hit the like button. You lot know the rules. When you come in, you wipe your feet, you say hi to everyone in the chat, and then you hit the like button. We got a lot to talk about in terms of transfers, because in the space of 24 hours, it went from, United want Ollie Watkins, Aston Villa don't want to sell him, to Man United are prioritizing Sesko, and he's ready to join Manchester United, and he wants to join United over Newcastle. Then in that same breath, a couple of hours later, Donnarumma, where the hell have those links come from? By the way, where have those Donnarumma links come from? Because let's be honest, guys, I'm going to be honest. Donnarumma is an upgrade on everything we have. Let's be real. But I'm also taking it with a pinch of salt. The only thing that makes me think that there might be some legs to the Donnarumma thing is the fact that obviously PSG are set to buy a new goalkeeper in Lucas Chevalier. So there actually might be legit links. Now, obviously, he earns quite a lot at PSG, and contract talks have stalled. But we've seen this happen before, where United are linked to a PSG player that's trying to get a new deal, and he ends up getting a new deal. So we take it with a little bit of a pinch of salt. But Jadon Sancho reportedly ready to take a pay cut to go to Dortmund. And last but not least, Chelsea reportedly still interested in Garnacho, but they value him at £35 million. Now, that is where the valuation difference comes between Manchester United and Chelsea, because even though Chelsea value him at 35 million, Man United want in excess of 50 million. And for once, me and Man United are on the same page. For once, me and Man United are on the same page, because ain't no way in God's green earth we let Marcus Rashford potentially leave next summer for £26 million because of that buy option that Barcelona have. But you're telling me in that same breath you might sell Garnacho for 35 million. Chelsea are a funny squad, yeah, because I get it. They do good business. They sell effectively. They buy insane amount of players. But when it comes to selling their players, they try to get as much possible for their player. But when they're trying to buy a player, they're trying to milk it for as less as possible, which is why they reportedly walked away from the Mike Mannion talks, because there was a difference in valuation. So we have so much to talk about. But big news, guys. I know you lot see it right there. I finally got a Nintendo Switch after I've been racking my brain for the last month. Some of you lot been saying to me, Minna, don't get it. Some of you lot been saying, Minna, get it. I got it. I said, you know what? I'm going to treat myself. And I'm enjoying it. I've only had it for less than a day. I haven't played that much hours on it, and there's, to be honest, not many games on it. I'm still looking at what games to get. I don't know if I should try out some new games, but I like the fact that they got the Nintendo classics. So like GoldenEye, I used to play that a lot on Nintendo 64, but you don't realize also the difference in quality. Like when I was playing GoldenEye as a little 7-year-old, crazy that I was allowed to play shooting games firstly, but when I was playing GoldenEye as a 6-7-year-old, yeah, I thought they were the best graphics ever. Now I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, what the hell is this? But I got Mario Kart World. So if any of you lot are on Mario Kart World, shout me, because I ain't got no friends. I only got one friend on Nintendo right now. But Legend of Zelda, I'm gonna get it. I'm trying to. Which one should I play first? Because I've seen that there's 2 on the store, so I don't know which one to get. But yeah, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well. Let's start with. Let's start with Donnarumma. Let's start with some Donnarumma talk. Now, I don't know where these reports came out of first, but it came out first it's been actually in the news for the last day or two that Manchester United are interested in signing PSG's goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma. Now, he's only 26 years old, which is crazy because I feel like Donnarumma's been around for about 7-8 years, but I keep forgetting that he came onto the scene quite young when he was at Milan. Obviously, then he went to PSG. If some of you lot remember 2021 when he saved the penalties against England in the Euros final, he was only like 21, 22 at the time. Donnarumma is a great goalkeeper, 100%. But I'm also not buying this story it's when they say something is too good, if something is too good to be true, then it probably is. A part of me thinks that this is one of those scenarios, and the reason why I think that is because he can go to any teams that have he's just won the Champions League, right? He's just won the Champions League. He's just won the French league with PSG. He's been one of their standout players in the Champions League, single-handedly kept them in many games. Are we meant to believe that of course, Man United have a massive pool, albeit of recent, maybe they don't, and they've been rejected by quite a few players because of, what they don't have to offer, i.e. European football, i.e. competitive league football, etc. It makes it very hard to believe that he would leave PSG and come to Manchester United if it's not for money right now. I'm not saying, and the reason why I'm saying that is not because I think he's a money grabber, but because the reason why his contract talks are stalling with PSG is because of his salary demands. And PSG, here you go, they're ready to replace him. They've actually already replaced him. They're set to sign Lucas Chevalier from Lille for 40 million. You don't go and drop 40 million on a backup goalkeeper. Now, with saying that and taking into consideration all of those stuff, Donnarumma is one of the best goalkeepers in Europe, without a doubt. I think, and he would be a straight upgrade on what Manchester United have. The reason why I'm not putting too much into it is obviously the reasons that I listed. That is very difficult to believe that maybe out of the clubs that he could go to if he is leaving PSG, that he would join Manchester United. Chelsea are in for a goalkeeper. They were trying to poach Mike Mannion from AC Milan. If Chelsea want a good goalkeeper, that is, one of the best in Europe, they would go and sign Donnarumma. They would easily go and sign him. They have Champions League to offer him. They have multiple different I think, competitive football that they have to offer him right now as well under Enzo Maresca. Mina, Fabrizio said United or Chelsea are not working to sign him, though he debuted the links. It's not just the fact that Fabrizio is saying that. So Fabrizio is reporting that it's not true, but there are many other reporters that are saying it's true. Now, one thing I will say about Fabrizio, guys, I'll be very honest, yeah. I think Fabrizio sometimes is agent-led, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I feel like if it, like, because so many reporters, including the likes of Sky, and yes, you might question the validity of their sources, but 5-6 journalists, 4-5-6 journalists can't be saying the same thing, and then Fabrizio says it's not true. Maybe he never got the drop on it. Maybe go and look at certain players that Fabrizio posts about. There was one striker, I can't remember what his name was. Shit. He was in the German league. I swear to you, Fabrizio used to post about him anytime the guy scored, he would post about him and be like, "Oh, yeah, another goal." And obviously, Fabrizio's most engagements come in the season, in the window. Sorry. So during the football season, he would boost certain players and their profiles between the season, and so then summer comes and they get a move. Someone comes, they get a move. I'm not saying like, and some journalists are like, I don't know if he gets paid personally to post about certain people, but I think, you know, it's not. I don't cancel out any report just because he's saying it's not true. He's been wrong sometimes before, but with saying that, I struggle to believe that this is not agent-led. I fully believe Donnarumma being linked to Manchester United is agent-led. It's a story by his agent being fed to Man United media and just wider media, just in the hopes that either it drives up his valuation, because you know, everyone will think, "Ooh, if United are in for him, 60 million price tag, 50 million price tag." Number one. Number two, it also gives them some leverage over PSG with the negotiations. Like I said at the beginning, when Man United were last linked to a PSG player, it was Nuno Mendes, and I was dying for Man United to get him. But what happened? 2-3 weeks later, new contract. It works. Man United gets you that new contract, or it will get you that move and that price tag that maybe your club want. And like I said, taking all of those stuff into consideration, I would love Donnarumma at Man United. On a scale of 1 to 10, how realistic do I think it is? I think it's about a 3. And that's not really that realistic. There's not really much reassurances for me that it actually could happen. Personally, big up to Ridwan, by the way, says, personally, I believe Fabrizio on this one. Maybe I'm wrong. I think all the journalists that are saying Man United want him got briefed by Donnarumma's PR team. I can hear this. I totally hear this. Big up to Abu Bakr, says he's looking for a new deal, I feel, but PSG are ahead and got another keeper. I mean, one thing about PSG when it comes to like even their recruitment strategy, guys, is they will never wait for a player to leave before they bring in a new player of that caliber. For example, they were getting rid of Manuel Ugarte. Before they brought in Manuel, like they believe that they will be able to shift players. So what do? They bring in the player that they want, and then they go on and sell that player once that new player comes in. They're not a sell to buy kind of club where we find ourselves maybe in this season. They did it with Ugarte and João Neves last season. I'm not surprised they brought in Lucas Chevalier. Lucas Chevalier is probably the second best keeper, I would say, in the French league. And also PSG, I don't know if you are realizing, but PSG are also going down this route of their recruitment strategy has shifted a little bit, where they're trying to buy French talents from the league itself. Rather than just going out and dropping 70 million here, 80 million here, etc., etc. Let me see what else you lot are saying in the chat. I'm sure everyone would like Donnarumma, but personally, I just don't see it being realistic enough. That's just in my opinion. Let's get into the nitty gritty, guys. Let's get into the nitty gritty kind of news that's flying around over the last 24 hours or so. Manchester United, from David Ornstein yesterday evening, says Manchester United are prioritizing Benjamin Sesko move. Now, you guys know I've been kind of in two parts about Benjamin Sesko. I've leaned towards more, Ollie Watkins more, just because of the whole idea of buying a project player or a player that you need to give some time to grow into a role. But David Ornstein, Laurie Whitwell, and the rest of the Athletic team confirming that Manchester United are prioritizing a move for RB Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko if they sign a striker this year. Now, Newcastle are also targeting him. And you know what would make me... This alone is the reason why I want to sign Benjamin Sesko. Because if you're telling me that Alexander Isak doesn't go to Liverpool because Newcastle can't sign Sesko, bring him to Old Trafford. No problem. No problem. I'm all for it. Just solely for that pettiness. But also, Newcastle could go and sign Wissa. Wissa is on strike right now. I don't know if you lot know that, but he's on strike. He's refusing to train with Brentford because they're blocking him from a move. But let's get into the details of this Benjamin Sesko move. Now, reportedly, RB Leipzig price him at about 75 to 80 million euros, or a package of about 75 to 80 million euros should be enough to get him to join Manchester United. That is around 64 million, just slightly more than that, which means Man United might near enough spend about, guys, quick maths. Someone do the maths in the chat, please. 71 million plus 62 million plus 65 million. What does that equal to? That equals to a lot. Man United might have just refurbished their front line with their entire transfer budget. Like, I think I fully am of the belief that if Man United do get Benjamin Sesko, which probably the details of, the fee and the way that it's packaged, etc., that is probably where the details of the transfer needs to happen. But I believe after that, Man United will be in a sell to buy situation, because a team that has struggled financially, 197 million, thank you very much, Ridwan. So that's how much it would cost if Man United get Benjamin Sesko on the reported price tag that he's available on, plus the two players that United have already brought in. That's Man United's new front three. That's the new front three lineup, a very different front three than what we've seen last year. And by the way, I actually think, is this the first time Man United would have restructured their entire attack in one window? That also shows you, I think, the little belief that Man United have with their attack. With saying that, obviously, yesterday, the pre-season game against Bournemouth, it was an entire starting 11 of no new players, no Mbeumo, no Cunha. So you can kind of see that players can still do a job. But also, I think that kind of shows you where Ineos's mindset is with the squad. The fact that they felt that they, in one window, had to refurbish the entire front line and basically rip it up and start all over again. I think that says a lot. Now, nearly 200 million on a new front line, that's quite a lot of money. But given the fact that nowadays one player can cost you nearly 100 million if you're trying to go for that high end level, I think that's decent business. Now, with Benjamin Sesko, Manchester United, according to Laurie Whitwell, believe that they do not have to finance a move for Benjamin Sesko by selling players. They believe that they should be able to get a deal done for him without selling players. And it's also been reported from Fabrizio Romano that RB Leipzig are fond of Rasmus Højlund, and the idea that's floating around is that he could go join Manchester United in exchange for Højlund plus some money. Now, if Wilcox, Barada, whoever the hell is in charge of this stuff, manage to sell Rasmus Højlund and put 20-30 million on top and get Benjamin Sesko, name a stand after them at Old Trafford. I'm joking, no, the bar is on the floor. But all jokes aside, that is, I think, good. That's a good deal. Now, Rasmus Højlund has come out in an interview after last night's game. Let me actually bring him up right here on the screen if I can find it. Rasmus Højlund has come out yesterday after the game and said, "I'm still very young. I think people sometimes forget that I'm only 22 years old. I have learned a lot, and I think that shows in my game. I have done very well so far during the preseason." He then went on, because he was asked about, the links to Benjamin Sesko. He said, "I think my plan is very clear, and that is for me to stay and fight for my spot, whatever happens." Now, I'm in two parts about this. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't be mad about the idea of Rasmus Højlund staying at Manchester City. I don't think I hate Rasmus Højlund as much as I've seen some people do. Like, the way some people speak about Rasmus Højlund, you would think he stole your cat or something. Like, the way people speak about him is wild. But I wouldn't mind, because he spoke about the fact when he joined Manchester United, there was a very interesting thing that he said about when he joined Manchester United, how Anthony Martial was the only player, the only striker at the club, and he was injured. So he said, "I didn't have anyone to share the workload with," which he said, "I wish I did, because I was quite young. I just had to basically get in my stride and try and make it work." I wouldn't mind Rasmus Højlund staying. He's not on a lot of money. He did cost a lot, but he's not on a lot of money per se. And also, he would be able to share the workload, not just with Benjamin Sesko, but also Xerxes. Now, the only thing I will say is that I think Sesko is way more developed than Rasmus Højlund is, even at this stage, or even at the stage that Manchester United brought him at. But also, I don't know if it's the right idea to have 2 or 3 strikers that are all developing at the same time. I think you need a bit of clinicalness. I think you need a bit of experience. You need to find that balance. Now, taking into consideration the fact that United got Cunha and United got Mbumo, that might balance it out slightly more. Bring Sesko and let Rasmus fight for his place. I'm invited 20 Kev coins. I'm investing 20 Kev coins in Rasmus. Don't do that. I would love Sesko, but not gonna lie, part of me really wants a steady keeper. I don't think my heart can stand another year of freaking out every time Onana gets shot at. Now, I'm kind of in. I'm in 2 parts about the whole striker situation. On one part, I want a new striker. I don't want to see Højlund with the number 9. Give him like the number. I don't know what number to give him, 19 or something like that. Yeah, give him a random number. I'm in some parts about that, but also watching the Bournemouth game yesterday, watching the game on the weekend as well, I think about the midfield, and that scares me a little bit as well. The way that you feel about the goalkeeper situation, I do feel like I feel slightly like that about the goalkeeper situation, but more so I feel like that about the midfield. But just because I know how easy it is in the Premier League to get overrun in the midfield. I know how easy it is. And I've seen, Arsenal is an interesting is interesting because I see Arsenal play Lewis Skelly sometimes. They invert him, right? And I saw it today where he gets dispossessed for the ball that they end up conceding from. He's the only real player in that midfield area, I think, that can turn on the ball. I don't really think Declan Rice can do it. Odegaard, not so much, not in a physical way anyways. I feel like United are lacking that. I've seen people saying that Heaton should be our keeper against Arsenal. You don't want a 50-year-old to be our goalkeeper against Arsenal. That's crazy. Preseason still fooling us. Let him go while we can. Sesko and Zexi are enough. It's 1 game a week. That's also another thing. Look at this here. Big up to Ridwan for sharing this graphic here. Big up to Pythagoras in Boots, one of my favorite football creators. If you lot don't go and check him out, then I don't know what you're doing, because he does amazing breakdown videos on players. The red is Benjamin Sesko, the blue is Ollie Watkins, and the green is Rasmus Højlund. This is in the last 365 days, and it's basically their percentile rank versus other forwards in Europe. I mean, you just see already Benjamin Sesko blows them all out of the water. And you don't know I love a good data metric. Yeah, so I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Another graph on my stream. But just look at this here. There's actually nothing. I think the only thing Ollie Watkins actually exceeds in comparison to the rest of these guys is passes offside. If you lot see here, this blue line, he exceeds that. Now, you look at Benjamin Sesko, passes received, touches, passes completed, passes attempt, progressive passes, passes into the final third, progressive passing distance, offside passes. But this is based on passing, by the way. It's link-up play. You already see who's the best link-up player. Who's the best link-up player out of all of them? I think we can universally agree right now that the best one out of all of them is Benjamin Sesko, and probably I would say I don't know. The worst one for me is Højlund and Ollie Watkins are equally as bad as each other. Maybe they have a slight altering one. Now, with Rasmus Højlund, I will say, just because he played well in preseason, the idea that Man United shouldn't sell him, I don't think it's going to be that foreign. I do have a feeling, though. I do have a feeling that if Man United can get a deal without getting rid of him, they might do that. Because he's a player that continuously has been said that he's, United already are willing to listen to offers. But there's not really been many offers surrounding him. There's not really been many. Now, Benjamin Sesko is such a weird one, yeah. It's such a weird one, because it's a player that was linked to so many different teams over the last 12 months. He was linked to Man United a couple of seasons ago. I remember just before he actually went to RB Leipzig, he was linked to a move to Manchester United, and I think he maybe wanted that one more stage of development, which I respect that totally. Now, I said earlier, the fact that him joining Man United could stop Isak from joining Newcastle. Now, reportedly, Benjamin Sesko is not convinced about a move to Newcastle. Manchester United probably don't need to sell players, but they can make an offer for him. And like I said, Leipzig are demanding at least 70 million euros. What would you guys ask for what would you guys think a reasonable fee for United to pay for Benjamin Sesko. By the way, look at the going rate of strikers in this market. I mean, the only thing I said that I was concerned about him is that there hasn't been a consistent increase in his goal contribution since he, been at Leipzig. It's just been he's been a steady Eddie. He's got a great first touch. His link-up play is probably better than what Manchester United have right now, maybe outside of Xerxes. And also he offers you a different kind of frontline option. He's strong, he's fast. Ollie Watkins was still my preference, but not for that price tag. A lot of you lot are saying about 60, 65 million. It's crazy to think Gyökeres went for less than that. It's crazy to think Gyökeres went less than that. And Gyökeres, I was watching a game 2 days ago. You lot know I'm sad, right? So I'm not sad, but you lot know I watch so much football, even when there's no football on. And on Sky, they were showing Luton versus Coventry championship playoff game, the championship final. And I was watching because obviously Gyökeres was, it was just on the TV, so I just was watching it. Obviously, Gyökeres was playing, and I remember watching him quite a bit that season when he was at Coventry, and I thought, oh, this guy's a baller. The Gyökeres that I've seen in the last 12 months and that Gyökeres is completely different. Completely. Like, even, the Gyökeres today, he had 2 touches in 20 minutes today. But I don't think that's down to Gyökeres. I think that's more down to potentially Arteta's football. I think Arsenal fans this season, I'm not going to say they're going to be humbled, but I think they're going to get frustrated with the way that Arteta is going to have the team. Because on paper, Arsenal have a very good team. Like, they should be playing in a way. And obviously, this is just pre-season. So until the season starts and the season kind of gets in motion, I don't think we need to be too stern with our opinions. But Arsenal, for me, on paper, what I expect from them when they have Gyökeres up front is that they should just be finding their target guy. And because they have people like Saka that already get doubled up on, that is going to open up opportunities for their man in the centre. If Arteta ain't doing that, I think Arsenal fans are going to be frustrated with their manager. But with saying that, Gyökeres went for less than what Leipzig are demanding. And the reason why Arsenal reportedly shifted their narrative from Sesko, because they were linked to Sesko for a hot minute, and then they started looking at Victor Gyökeres. The finance aspect was a part of it, but apparently his agent was an asshole. Excuse my language, but this is just reports that I read. Even on The Athletic, there was an article on The Athletic talking about in-depth dossier on the Gyökeres move, and it mentioned slightly about Sesko and why that deal kind of Arsenal never went through with it. And it was because the agent was difficult to deal with. He was saying one thing to Arsenal, saying one thing to Leipzig, and obviously Leipzig are you lot know what you're getting with Leipzig. They are gonna always be very stern with what they ask for financially. We've already seen that. Now, I like a guy at Leipzig called Castello Luqueba. There's a guy called Castello Luqueba. I was watching him when he was at the Lyon, I think, B team. I stumbled across him randomly, kept up with him when he was at Lyon. Then he went, and I wanted United to buy him the summer that he went to Leipzig, but him going to Leipzig just makes sense. It's kind of like that developmental step. And I know next season, a lot of teams are going to beat him for him. And I think United should look at him as a central centre-back position. So if signing Benjamin Sesko, this might sound silly, guys, but if signing Benjamin Sesko means we have that relationship with Leipzig that could help us sign Luqueba next season, I'm all for it, number one. Number two, Leipzig need to sell between him and Xavi Simons. That's 2 players that they have that they want to sell this summer, that they have big price tags for. Chelsea's talks with Xavi Simons is slowly, running out in terms of the fact that they feel like it's quite a lot. I think they asked him for 70 million euros for Xavi Simons. I mean, they brought him for around that price. But also with saying that, if United sign Sesko first, that might prevent Chelsea from being able to sign Xavi Simons, which could be a domino effect and force them to sign Alejandro Garnacho. Now, we're going to talk about Alejandro Garnacho in a bit more detail afterwards and what the bomb squad that they keep calling them. But just a quick question, guys, to you lot in the chat. Yes, no. Benjamin Sesko in a Man United shirt to line up against Arsenal on the first day of the season. Yes or no? Given how long the other talks took for United to get Mbumo in through the door, and even Cunha to an extent took a bit of time from when we got the here we go to when we actually signed him. I think we have that relationship regardless because of Vivel. Yeah, maybe that's true. Maybe that's true. The only thing that I hate is that when teams are established for themselves as seller squads or seller teams, and their reputation in the market is for selling players of a certain valuation. I don't really like that. That kind of annoys me sometimes, because you know that team in particular is gonna wait to get, you know, the amount that they're asking for, the price, whatever the price tag is that they're asking for. So that is the only thing I don't like about Leipzig, because they've sold, like in the last couple of years, they've sold a lot of people for 50-60 million plus. No chance, as we're too slow at everything. Mad says, I'll take it. Yes. Signing Sesko could stop Liverpool and Chelsea low key it could. Although with the Liverpool thing, I do think that I think Liverpool will get Isaac. I think they will get him regardless. I think they will go and drop that. 150 million is apparently what Newcastle value him at, and that's all that they're willing to listen for. And I think they will do that if they really want him. I mean, the guy is training by himself. Like, I'm talking about Wissa boycotting training. This guy has boycotted preseason. Isaac has boycotted preseason, and now he's training. He's not even in England right now. He's training at Real Sociedad independently. So he's trying to force that move. I still think Liverpool will probably end up with him. Sesko will score double against Arsenal. Come on, okay. Nah. Abubakar says yes, but it's almost impossible. Even if we get him in something like Mbuma, might come up like match fitness. That's true. That is another valid thing. Match fitness is another thing. Because if he's not, I don't know if Sesko has been training, but we know that Mbuma hadn't been training, which is why we haven't seen him in the first couple of games of preseason. But also, I remember last year when we signed De Ligt and Mazraoui, were they on preseason with Bayern Munich, which is why they came into the lineup immediately for the first game, and they had like only one training session, I think. But listen, guys, be sure to hit the like button. We've got over 100 and something people here, over 150 people here, with 4 likes away from 100. So make sure you hit the like button. I dropped a new video earlier this afternoon. Go check it out. After this, it's just breaking down Patrick Dorgu's performance yesterday for Manchester United. So make sure you check that out. We have consistent content coming on the channel throughout transfer window, but also player profiles. I got a video dropping on the weekend, which will be the top 5 Wonder Kid transfers to watch. So I'm dropping some gems. It's not everyday Man United. I'm dropping some gems. 5 players to watch who are under the age of 20 that have, you know, signed with new clubs. Some good talents in that list. So make sure you check out that video. Obviously, tomorrow I'll be live with the Daily Dose as well. And if there's any news between now and tomorrow, obviously I will drop a video regarding that. Now, Sully, shout out to Sully, who confirmed that the Manchester United bomb squad. By the way, I hate that term. It actually bothers me that they keep calling them that. But Garnacho, Sancho, Anthony, Malacia, 4 players that have been living in exile when it comes to Manchester United's training camp. The 4 of them are expected to move to the under-21 dressing room for the rest of the summer when the first team return from the US tour next week. I mean, Man United are really they're really taking serious decisions. These are serious decisions, you know. You'd think that they stole someone's cat. Like, I know I keep referencing that, but you would think that they did something outrageous. To now, soon they're not going to be allowed to park in Carrington. They're going to be told park around the corner and walk up to work. Because being told that you're going to imagine walking into a dressing room. Imagine you play for under 21 United, yeah. You're on a scholarship and you walk in and everybody, 4 players in there collectively, their 1 month salary combined could probably buy your entire flipping GDP of your country. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Yeah, soon they're going to be eating in their car. I don't know if you lot agree with this, by the way. I think there's measures to these kind of stuff, because the worst thing that could happen for United is no one buys them. No one buys them. And then it's like, okay, I got 4 assets. Yeah. Do I leave them to rot and slowly, no, not even slowly, actually, quite quickly they depreciate, the value depreciates. And next summer, you ain't got no leg to stand on when it comes to buying someone or selling them, sorry. Or do you then walk back with your tail between your legs and you say, you know what? We're going to reintegrate you back into the squad this season. What do United do? What do United do? Are you not happy to let them rot? Because I remember having this conversation last summer with on another channel. Shout out Footy Judge Mo, and we were talking about what Enzo Maresca was doing at Chelsea. He had just come in as the new manager. And I was saying, you know, at the time I didn't agree with it, what he was doing to the likes of Trevor Chalobah and Raheem Sterling. I thought it was a bit excessive, but the more that the season went on, I realized he made the right decisions because he had to kind of push them. He had to get them out because he didn't want them. He did not want them. So it was better for him to force them to leave. And you're kind of forcing their hand because once they realize, listen, we will do whatever it takes to make you uncomfortable here, they are going to want to leave. They're not going to wait till deadline day and try and get that last minute move to wherever the hell it is that they want to go. They're going to push to leave because they're going to be like, why am I coming here every day? You know, I'm not even allowed to see my friends. I'm not allowed to talk to my mates. I have to go to the under 21 dressing room. You agree? Or is it only good for other clubs? No, I agree to it. But I'm saying that you have to look at it from both perspectives and think, what happens if they don't end up leaving? What do we do then? Do we continue with this? Leaving them out of match day squads and they're not training with the first team? You know, do we continue with that? Because then next summer, it's going to be even harder to sell them. That is my question to you guys. That's the question that I have for you lot. All things equal, Sesko, Watkins, or Wissa. Ooh, thank you, Matthew, for the super chat, by the way. I'll go. I don't know. You know, I think they're all three of them are different type of strikers. I don't even class Wissa as a striker per se. For me, he's more like a second striker. But big up for the super chat, man. Thank you so much. Leave them out. We don't need them, and we've already replaced them. So are you happy then, Mano? And this is to all of you lot in the chat. Are you guys happy with their value to depreciate? So next summer, say this happens, right? No one comes to buy Garnacho this summer. No one buys Anthony. No one buys Malacia. Sancho leaves on a loan. He's going to leave on a free next summer, right? Say all of that happens and you've got 3 players. So you're happy for them to sit out. You're happy for them to not train with the first team. You're happy for them to use the under 21 dressing room, basically live in exile the way that Eric Ten Hag did to Jadon Sancho. And then next summer, are you happy then to accept low valued fees for them? That's my question, because I think managers should be allowed to do what is within reason to moving players on, especially players that are reluctant to accept moves from certain clubs. Like, for example, Garnacho didn't want to go to Napoli in January. Players shouldn't be allowed to have that much power when it comes to, if you're on the transfer list, you go where I'm selling you to. And I know that is a wrong kind of thought to have, but I think that with these kind of players, you have to do it. Otherwise, you're leaving the ball in their court all the time. And then what leverage do Manchester United have over them? Nothing. The only leverage Man United have is making them live in exile at Carrington. Soon they're going to be told you're not even allowed to eat on campus. Go home and have your lunch and your breakfast and come back. I have faith that these players will leave. Kylo says, no, man, next summer we'll have fewer cases of this type. See Chelsea. Sterling is working hard to find a loan. He doesn't want to go back to the reserves. I think Sterling is a different case for that. Because one thing I'll say with Sterling is he's achieved so much in his career that he's probably happy now to make those moves to those mid-table, lower-sided things. I mean, I think he's linked to Fulham right now. And I think he's happy to do that. Reportedly, he wants to stay in London as well because he's from London. Makes sense. He doesn't want to disrupt his family and like move them across England again. But Sterling, I think, is an anomaly. Chelsea had the opposite with Sterling, with Trevor Chalobah. I don't know if you lot remember. Had the opposite with Trevor Chalobah. They recalled him because they needed a centre-back. And what happened? He was one of their best players at the Club World Cup. He was one of their best players coming up to the latter stages of the season. It's not always black and white when it comes to these kind of situations. But one thing I will say is I would rather all of them leave. I would rather Garnacho leave. I would rather Sancho leave. I would rather Anthony leave. I would rather poor Malacia, who's being boxed into this. Like I say all the time, his only crime is being friends with Marcus Rashford. But I would rather all 4 of them leave because that just means Man United have less fodder. If you lot play Ultimate Team, you know what I mean by fodder. They have less fodder that they have to worry about trying to move on next season. And essentially, it means that they would have done this rebuild that everyone's talking about, because whenever people talk about the rebuilds, you're always talking about not just the players coming in, but the players going out. If Man United can sell all 4 of them, sell them. I think Marcus Rashford, out of all of them, was always the one for me that would probably have ended up on loan because of his wages, which is a big hindrance. If United do sell Garnacho for 30 million to Chelsea, it'll be bad business. Chelsea will easily sell him in 2 years for 50 million. So reportedly, Chelsea value him at 30 to 35 million, whereas Manchester United have reportedly asked for in excess of 50 million. I mean, we're living in a time and day, guys, yeah, where I've seen the players that have been going for the price tags that they're going for. I might have my opinions on Garnacho and his decision making, and I might have my opinions on, quite a few things about Garnacho. But one thing I will say is that he's not a £30 million player. Like, as much as I think United need to move him on. And I think Man United have looked a lot better in pre-season because of the exclusion of Garnacho. If I'm being honest, if I'm being totally honest, I think the front line looks a lot more balanced because of his exclusion. But he's not a 30 to 35 million pound player. Now, Laurie Whitwell also confirming as well that Chelsea are standing firm on their position about Garnacho. And they've also offered swaps for players that they no longer need, particularly Nicholas Jackson and Christopher Nkunku. This is the thing with Chelsea, is that it's like you say, here you go. This is a PlayStation controller, yeah? For those of you that don't know, this is a PlayStation controller. It's the Pro version, right? So it's got triggers on the back. I don't know if you like to see, but it's got triggers on the back, etc. This is more expensive than a normal control pad. This one, it costs about £200. Just this control pad alone, yeah, £200. The normal control pad is about £65-70. It's like me saying to someone, I'll give you one of my normal controllers and it's got stick drift. I'll give you 2 normal controllers that got stick drift. Give me your Pro controller. Ain't no way. Yeah, the DualSense Edge. There you go. I don't know what it's called. I forgot what it was called. But it's like me saying, here you go. I will give you 2 normal controllers, standard PlayStation controllers that have stick drift. So it's kind of messed up and I don't want it. But you give me your DualSense Edge. It's not even valued at the same. Even when you're combining it, it's not even valued. Who's going to pay more than 35 million? Good question. Whoever wants a player like Garnacho. I think Garnacho has a lot of what's the words? He's got some traits that we can big him up for that will maybe get teams to lean in the favor of buying him. Young, over 100 plus appearances in the Premier League in a senior team. 20 GA last season. 3 consecutive seasons for Manchester United, 2 of them being a starter. Won 2 cups. Bench impact as a starter. Let's be honest. Let's put the truth aside. The guy might need 5 chances. He might get 5 chances and score 1, maybe 2 at best. Might have bad decision making sometimes when he sees his name in the glory and the lights. But he has I think he has things on his CV that has every right for him to go for more than 35 million. Honestly, I don't think I don't think Garnacho is as bad as... I think there's recency bias to people gassing up Garnacho because of... but also there's people overlook things. And I think certain things are important. I think him speaking about Amorim after the game in the Europa League, I think that did more damage to him than possible good. Because I personally think if anyone can come out after a European final or any final, if anyone can come out and you're one of the more inexperienced players in the team and you got vim and you got energy for the manager publicly, you could beat up the manager on the pitch. Like I wouldn't put that aside I wouldn't put that past you. I wouldn't put it past you because you're able to go and stab your manager in the back in front of the public. And I don't think I've ever... You know what Garnacho did after that final? I can't remember the last time I've seen a player do that. If it was someone like Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo, R9, Ronaldinho, Kaká, Roberto Carlos, Maldini, Zidane, if it was them kind of guys who came out and publicly undermined their new manager that's only been there for a season, I'll be like, you know what? You lot are one of the greats of the game. You know a thing or two. You can have your opinion. I respect it. But it's the fact that that's not him. But put that aside. Put all the disciplinary stuff aside, which is a lot. He's not a bad player. He's not a bad player, in my opinion. But he is a frustrating player to watch. And I think we've seen that last season. I actually think we relied on him too much, which is why he became more frustrating to watch. If Garnacho was in a position in a team where he's like the second or third important player, quotation marks, in the front line, like if you're in a front line and you're playing with a front three or a front four, like for example, Chelsea, yeah. Chelsea have a front line. If they got João Pedro up top, they got Cole Palmer in the 10, whoever they got on the right, and they have Garnacho on the left. Garnacho for me would be the least important player in that front line, which means I think he would be okay. I think he'd be good because he's the least important. When you suddenly make him the most important one in your front line, where you're relying on him for goals and assists, I don't think he's that guy. I don't think he's that guy. I think he could be like the what is Batman's sidekick called? Dark Knight? What, guys? What's Batman's sidekick called? I can't remember. Robin. Yeah, thank you very much, JJ. Robin. I think he could be the Robin to a Batman. I don't think he can be a Batman. Like, I just don't. I don't think. Why did I say the Dark Knight? Isn't the Dark Knight Batman himself? I'm such an idiot. How can you lot can tell that I don't be knowing much. Getting rid for cheap still helps us a lot because the sooner he gets spit out, it's not worth it to hold out. OJ says facts, he's become important way too quick. He has way too much of an ego for a player of his caliber. Garnacho's attitude was proper disgusting. It just showed the entitlement of young players. I think you lot are laughing about yeah. It's my bad. My bad, guys. Do you guys think Garnacho will leave? I mean, the fact that he's training, he's using the under-21s dressing room, yeah. At this point, he might as well just have breakfast and lunch with his brother at home if he's going to have to sit with under-21s. I mean, he himself is under-21, right? So he's actually not that far off. He's not that far off, yeah. But he probably thinks he's better. He's probably looking at the under-21s like, why am I sat here with you lot? Why am I in a dressing room with you lot? Soon they're going to maybe have him and the rest of the squad, the bomb squad, whatever they keep calling them. They might be cleaning people's boots. They might be getting labor. They might have to have labor at Carrington where they have to work for their money because they're not playing football anymore. I don't know where he ends up, if I'm being personally honest. I don't know if he ends up at Chelsea. I don't know if Chelsea return for him. Remember, his agent went to Chelsea in January. You know, this is another thing, yeah. And I said this at the time. I remember saying it on a stream at the time. His agent was pictured, I think it was Chelsea versus Wolves, or I can't remember what game it was, but it was a Monday night game. And his agent was pictured in the box with Chelsea directors, whatever. And there was reports at that time that Chelsea wanted him. I thought that was a slap in the face to Manchester United. I genuinely, at that time, and I remember, I could go and find the streams, I was saying that this is a slap in the face to Manchester. And if anyone did, if Sancho did this with his agent, if Rashford did this with his agent, if Anthony did that with his agent, people would have been kicking up a fuss. Instead, fans were saying, he can't go to Chelsea, he can't go to Chelsea, he can't go to... I thought that was disrespect in the middle of the season, January, where Man United are still finding their feet, and they didn't find their feet, but they were still finding their feet under Ruben Amorim. Your agent is publicly seen at another game where he, by the way, his agent don't have that many clients, right? So of course he's there because of Garnacho, because that day it comes out that Chelsea want him. I thought that was disrespectful. And if you wanted to leave in January, you should have been holding the bench from then, in my opinion. But Amorim didn't do that. And if any other player did that, you know, the people from the bomb squad, if any of them did that, people would have been kicking up a fuss. People would have said, oh, they're disrespecting the club, they're disrespecting us, they're disrespecting the manager, get rid, they shouldn't be allowed to play, they should be on the bench, blah, 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 blah. I just think, obviously, we know in the fan base, there's always inconsistencies, and I might be inconsistent sometimes as well with the way that I speak about different players, etc. But I just think that at that time when that happened, that was obvious. That was a showing. That was a serious showing. He showed his ass, excuse my language. Abu Bakr says he will leave. World Cup is here, so that's going to make him consider his stance on just going to a Premier League team. The thing that I don't get, personally, what I don't get about Garnacho wanting to stay in the Prem, why doesn't he want to go elsewhere? Because I think Garnacho could easily get a move to a Champions League or Europa League team. He could easily get that move. He could easily be a starter at quite a few teams. But he's so adamant that he wants to stay in the Prem. Obviously, the money probably is better in the Prem because people at Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest are earning as much as some of the big teams outside of England. But he's very consistent with wanting to stay in the Prem, even though he has said, I don't want to go to Aston Villa, as if Aston Villa is beneath him. He should do what Rashford did and go to make a move in the Premier League so that you can get football and then make your push the following transfer window for the team that you actually want to go to. It doesn't necessarily have to be immediately. It must be the money. Yeah, I think it's definitely the money. He might as well go Saudi then. If he wants to stay in the Prem for the money, he might as well go Saudi. He could play with Cristiano Ronaldo at Al Nassr. Just some news on Carlos Baleba. Brighton reportedly want to keep him for at least one more season. I mean, you know what I love about us as Man United fans, guys? I have not seen one report linking Man United and Baleba. But yet, every time I'm seeing people do United starting 11 for next season, Baleba's in it. Every single time. I have said this time and time again. Forget that Brighton want to keep him for another season. I think Baleba should stay at Brighton for another season. I think he's ready for the step up. But I think just to polish out the nitty-gritty details of his football, you know, because he does have, I think, some inexperience in his decision-making, in particular, like his rashness in tackles. He's still improving, and I think he will improve. But also, I think that you are better off improving at Brighton for one more season than you are going to a team where the pressure is going to be heavy. The pressure is going to be serious. Now, I thought, I'm not going to lie, guys, I thought City would go for him before they brought Reinders. I thought City would go for him. But don't ever let Pep get his hands on Baleba. He's going to ruin it. He's going to turn him into a centre-back. He's actually going to turn him into a centre-back. Don't ever let Pep get him. But with saying that, I don't know if Man United is going to get him. But one thing I will say is we know Brighton are going to go for a big fee for him. Like, I think 80, 90 million is going to be the base fee. If they got 100 plus for Caicedo, surely they will get a big fee for him. And I always say this, if United can't get Baleba and they don't want to spend that price tag on him, go and get the next up-and-coming one. Go and get whoever they're going to replace Baleba with, go and get him. You don't know who I'm going to say. I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say it because I've been saying his names too much on the streams, on the transfer streams that I do here. But that's the guy that I want United to get. That's the guy that I want United to get. Rio says United should buy him. I watched him, guys. I went to, shout out to Nike, because I went to Chelsea versus Brighton with Nike. I was sitting in their box. And that was probably the second or third time that I saw Carlos Baleba, yeah. But this time I saw him in person, like I saw him in the flesh, yeah. And I remember just saying to people sitting next to me in the box, I was like, oh my God, this guy's a beast. I was amazed. I was amazed. I saw him a couple of weeks before that, bad up United when we lost 2-1, yeah. And he was bullying Kobbie Mainoo in the midfield. But when I saw him in real life, and this was a game, I think it was 4-2 or something. Cole Palmer scored a hat-trick. He scored a free kick. But this guy kept scoring for them. And I would see him pick up the ball from their own third and drive it. No one could get the ball off him. Enzo, Kaiser, none of them could come close to him. And that's when I was like, wow. Baleba, I am standing, I'm applauding. I'm sitting behind Cole Palmer's dad, and I keep saying, hey, Baleba's a baller. I was like, what the hell? Big up to KG in the chat. KG, send me your Nintendo friend code. Is that what it's called? I got a Switch. I'm ready to play Mario Kart. Flex told me you lot have been playing on tour. Shout me. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm gonna get smoked. I'm still like learning. My nephew smoked me today, but it's okay. And then we're gonna host a UV Mario Kart tournament. I don't know when. I told Flex we should do that, and I told Flex to get a Switch as well, so we can all have Switches and we can all bring it to the studio, and we can play it all together. Newcastle are linked. What? Newcastle are now. Is this where their season is going? Newcastle have had a shit show of a summer transfer window for a team that has finished in a European spot, and for a team that I thought would go out and spend quite efficiently. They have had a shit show of a window. Forget the fact that they lost out on some of their attackers that they wanted. The fact that James Trafford, who I thought was a done deal to Newcastle, went to City. I mean, yeah, if Newcastle need Rasmus, we can give them Rasmus. We can give them Rasmus. I think that's reasonable. But Carlos Baleba, guys, as United fans, we need to just let it go. Not let it go, but we need to stop trying to speak it into existence, because we've created a transfer rumor ourselves. We created a transfer rumor ourselves out of nowhere. Every time I see people doing a starting 11 of the season, I'm seeing Baleba in the midfield. I'm thinking there's not been one source, not even like a tier 9 or tier 10 source, that has linked us to Baleba, to Carlos Baleba. If United have money to spend on an attacking front three, and they're spending 200 million on that, I don't think they're going to spend 70, 80 million on a midfielder. Baleba manifestation. I don't believe in manifesting, guys. I don't believe in manifesting, because I believe God wrote it. So it's not manifesting. Streets are saying KG is now tier 4. You know what's so funny? Look at this. I literally replied to KG's story today. Hold on. Wait, where is it? I literally replied to his story today saying, can you not see that? In my eyes, KG is a tier 3.5. He posted, what is it? Andy Mitten is 1-12 with Andy Mitten. I replied back saying tier 3.5. He's gone up in my eyes now. I can't even sit at the table with KG. I can't even sit at the table with KG anymore. If KG today links us to Carlos Baleba, I'll believe it. If KG links us, I will believe it. I wouldn't let it go. James is saying, James is legit. And KG been rubbing shoulders with James and Laurie Whitwell and Andy Mitten, so he's going up as well in the tier ranking. Graham Bailey was the one that said Rodrigo is interested in Tottenham. I thought Bailey said that. Graham Bailey said Tottenham was interested in him. Like, yeah, the other way around. I didn't know it was the other way around. I thought he said Tottenham were interested in Rodrigo. If Rodrigo is interested in Tottenham, that's like me saying some other. I'm not gonna say it, but because I was gonna say something blasphemous. But if United sign Baleba, guys, I don't know, man. I'm all for it. Ben Jacobs is saying that Brighton will want to keep him for at least one more season, and I don't think a lot of people have actually been interested in or haven't made legit bids. Now, if Man United end the transfer window in a month's time, I think they're going to either end with a striker and a midfielder, or a striker or a goalkeeper. It's going to be one of those. And if worse comes to worse, it's going to be a striker only. I mean, I can't lie. If United only end with 3 forwards or 3 frontline players in the summer transfer window, I think that's a bit of a underwhelming window. That's a bit of an underwhelming window. I still think United need a midfielder or a goalkeeper or both. But also, I don't think United actually have the funds for it. Oh, look who's calling. You're live on the stream, KG.
I'm telling you, I wouldn't give up on Baleba.
What are you saying? We should believe in Baleba.
I wouldn't give up on Baleba.
Why are you calling in Beliebs? What the hell? That's what the Justin Bieber fans call themselves.
Now, you know what's mad, yeah? There's like that conversation's an interesting one still, because like, yeah, man.
You lot, man, it's a tier 3.5 source talking right now, so it's the KG bomber.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't give up. The only thing that changed it, I think, if we, because they remember they wanted Watkins for 45 million.
Yeah.
And that Baleba talk was like, they liked him still. But then now I thought was going to sign Watkins, and that was looking feasible still, the Baleba thing.
So should I keep my hopes up then?
I wouldn't give up, is what I'm saying.
Damn. All right, then I won't give up. Then
I don't think it's not a mad thing.
It's not out of this world if United get linked in.
Not even.
That might be real manifestation then, because I don't believe in manifestation. But if we've been saying this all this time and it happens,
I don't listen. The club know what's going on.
KG saying the club know what's going on because he's been in those rooms. He's been in those rooms while he's in America, and now he's coming in saying, yeah, the club know what's they know.
That's what I just wouldn't give up. I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, I was not gonna lie. When I thought you see, if we sign Watkins,
yeah,
I would have said straight away, oh my god, because now they have a plan in it. If that makes sense.
Damn. Yeah. All right, Baleba. It might happen. Hashtag Baleba to United.
That money, that Sesko money. I don't know, man. I don't know how much we're gonna have left to to play with, and I don't. Rasmus is looking like he's. I don't know what Rasmus is thinking.
He said he wants to fight. He said he loves the badge.
This is what I'm saying.
He's saying, I want to fight for my spot. I want to stay.
This is what I'm saying. Because if we can make that Sesko deal cheaper, which I don't think, I thought with Rasmus, if they wanted Rasmus, it would be wicked.
Yeah.
But it looks like he don't want to go. So it's a hope thing. But the club are fully aware of my man. Like, super.
Well, if KG's saying it, guys, you know it's legit. I trust you. I don't really trust KG all the time.
Have you seen my Laurie Whitworth?
I haven't watched that. It's on my to watch today.
What? Hold on, wait a minute.
Bro, I went live when you uploaded it 3 minutes before I went live.
No, it's fire. It's fire.
I'm gonna watch it.
Listen, I can't wait for us to chat, but like, Man United all right yesterday, innit?
Yeah, I know. Did you have fun?
It was good. I was actually, there was moments when I couldn't believe that we were playing like this.
You know what? You remember when I was saying, on red carpet, United need 1 game a week with Amarim for more time on the training field. I'm telling you, lot, I'm actually optimistic for next season. I went from being depressed last week to now being optimistic.
You know what? What's it? No, light optimism. Not crazy.
Yeah, it's not crazy. It's not crazy. Yeah, it's not crazy.
Optimism, but when the manager's saying they're a different team.
Yeah, and they look it. They look like a different team.
But then you know what? We don't know if they got that weak underbelly of if they get tested. Like
they crumble.
The sins of the past. They crumble under. That's why that Arsenal game is actually happening at a good time. Like you kind of want the team to build confidence before it.
And Arsenal having a different preseason to United as well. Their preseason is completely different.
Arsenal in preseason. I don't think Arsenal's preseason should read into Arsenal's preseason, to be honest.
They're looking a bit 2000 a couple of seasons ago. They looked like this, and then they started the season a bit underwhelmingly. But they're not my problem, and I'm just trying to focus on United. You need to stop trolling. You need to stop trolling other teams as well. Let's just focus on United this season.
Do you know who you're talking to?
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I said you need to stop. I don't. I thought maybe new season, new KG. I don't know. I thought you were in America. They let you through firstly in TSA. They let you through in TSA, and then I thought, I'm seeing no, but you changed since you've been in America. That's why I thought maybe there might be a new KG. No. Okay, you're still the KG. You just when you're rubbing shoulders with Andy Mitten and Laurie Whitwell and them, man, you're different.
No, see, in the Andy Mitten one, I was more like I tried to hold a professional tone.
I know you want to bust a joke. I know you're dying to make a joke.
Because he was dropping gems, There's gems in that interview but I couldn't go crazy. He's like, nah, he did me a favor in it. I couldn't go mad clickbaity, but he said things. Are you with me? So,
I'm telling you, you're going up in the source list, KG. Like, you're actually 3.5 right now. You're actually 3.5. Yeah, you're actually 3.5.
Nah, you know what? Me and Ben Jacobs might be fighting because I'm waiting for that heat to be right, man. I'm waiting for that heat to be right, bro.
Leave Ben Jacobs alone, man. Leave Ben Jacobs alone. He got the Saudi sources though. That's legit.
Me and Ben Jacobs might be.
I can't lie. You could have the Saudi sources too. You could give him a run for his money, man. Chat to Turkey, I'll share.
Me, Ben Jacobs, Janty, we're all fighting for that.
What are you calling people out for?
Let me go, man.
Much love, bro. Peace. Oh, KG, man. KG is the only person that can make me laugh from the entire phone call, like non-stop. This guy's saying he's calling journalists out like this is a boxing ring. But listen, guys, he said it, man. Believer, let's not lose hope. Let's not lose hope. How many likes are we on, guys? Yes, we're on 140. Let's try hit 150 on your way out. Is there anybody live right now? There is absolutely nobody live for me to redirect to, unfortunately. Check out the video that I dropped about Patrick Dorgu. Literally dropped a video like 2 or so hours ago about Patrick Dorgu and his game against Bournemouth and just his preseason in general. So make sure you lot go check that out. Like, subscribe, comment, all of that stuff. It helps with the algorithm every single time. Tomorrow, daily dose of Minna again. Same time, actually quite earlier. Tomorrow we'll be live at about 3 o'clock instead of the normal 4 o'clock time. We'll be live at 3, maybe 2:30, depending on how I'm feeling. But of course, turn on your post notifications so when I'm going live, you lot will get notified as well. And like I said, guys, if you've got a Nintendo Switch, you got Mario Kart and all of them stuff there. In the video of this, when I end the stream, or DM me on Instagram, send me your Nintendo code, and I'm gonna humiliate all of you lot in Mario Kart when I get good. I need to practice first, but once I start to get good at it, then I'm gonna start playing with. I played, guys, normal by myself, just a one-player one. I'm beating in like the AIs. I went and played one race online. Oh my god, I got smoked. Then I played another game online and I got smoked. I played 4 games online, guys. I finished like 17th in each race. And you know what keeps happening to me is like I'll be second, third, and then I'll just get bumped or someone will hit me with something and like I'm now 15th. I'm like, what the hell? This is why I should stick to like first-person shooter games because I don't think racing is for me. I actually don't think it is. Ain't bought a Nintendo console since Nintendo DS Lite. That's the last Nintendo I owned. I owned a pink Nintendo DS in 2006. And I haven't had a Nintendo since. So I'm excited to have this Switch. And also I travel quite a bit now for work, for shoots, etc. And I just sit there listening to a podcast or audiobook on the train, at least now, or on a flight, at least now. I can have my Switch, just enjoy a game. And also family games nights, we can play Mario Kart, etc. Just make it a bit more fun. But listen, guys, big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button. Let's get to 150 on your way out. If there's any breaking news between now and tomorrow, obviously I'll drop a video or I will be live. I hope you lot have a wonderful Thursday evening, guys. Big up to all of you lot that came through. I'm out. Peace.